what we have our clients do when they're starting out brand new is we have them sit down and write down like why they're doing this statement, right? What are their personal core values in doing this? Mm-hmm. And the reason we have them do that is because we like for them, and I still do this today, is every year or so I pull it back out and I'm saying, am I meeting these still, you know? And I think a lot of times people just get distracted or they get off track, mm-hmm. And then they find themselves working too much, not setting proper boundaries, unhappy for whatever reason, mm-hmm. because they're not staying true to those values.
Yeah, they forget about them, or like you said, distracted. It's easy to forget about them though. And that's why companies put their core values, usually like when you walk in, you see the core values on the wall. Mm-hmm. You got to remind yourself of these things because it's easy to lose track of them. Welcome back to Raise Your Connection. Today, my guest is April. So here's one of my things with your surname. Is it Salsbury or Salsbury?
Salsbury.
Salsbury. Mm-hmm. See, because I know people pronounce these names wrong.
Yeah.
So Salsbury.
Yep. And it April also Salsbury. Doesn't have this I, like a steak. It's missing the I. A lot of people will spell it Salis.
Yeah.
And it's not.
That's right, Salisbury steak.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love that.
It is good.
Yeah, you get the gravy on it, right?
Yeah.
With the mashed potatoes.
Yes.
You're making me hungry.
I know.
Yeah, I can't wait for lunch now.
You're going to have to make it for dinner tonight.
I might, yeah. my favorite meal, I go on tangents, just so you know.
No, this is great.
So feel free to talk about whatever you want.
Okay.
I think my favorite meal that my mom makes, thank you, Mom. The next time I see you, I think I want this. The hamburger steak. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, it's ground beef.
Yeah.
Kind of like a mini meatloaf, essentially.
Yes, it's got the onions in it.
Yeah, so you make like a mini meatloaf, and then you get mushrooms.
Yes.
Saute them with some butter and make a nice gravy. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mother, you know what you got to do when you see me now. So April is the founder.
Yes.
And CEO.
I am.
Of Salsbury CO.
Salsbury and Co.
Salsbury and Co.
Yeah.
I almost rhymed that a little bit. I didn't try to.
That's okay.
It's an accident. So, and you guys are a resource for business owners, small businesses, entrepreneurs?
Yep. We do everything from, I would say, pre-startup. Mm-hmm. So we have a few clients that we've worked with that have like investments that they're getting startup. All the way from startup to, I would say most of our clients, we hand them off in a different direction when they get around 50 employees or about 25 million in revenue. Mm-hmm. So nice. Anywhere in that stage.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so, and you specifically help with accounting, medical billing, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Yeah, and human resources, right?
Yeah, so we have 4 services.
Okay.
So we do business management consulting for small business.
Okay.
And that's my role, and that's how we initially started out, was just me doing consulting work. Mm-hmm. And that entails going into businesses, kind of doing an audit of everything, financials, operations, systems, everything. HR, and then deciding, some of the components that are missing or need to be improved or streamlined, and then putting those things in place for the business owner, but doing it in a way that we're walking with them side by side so that they understand why these changes are important, how it, functions. We write the procedures for everything. And then hopefully at some point we graduate them off so they can function on their own and continue to grow.
That's the goal.
Yeah. And I would say most of our clients, it's somewhere about 9 to 14 months. It just depends on each client. Okay. But we have had, probably since COVID, a lot of our clients just don't want to deal with it. And so they just want to keep us on.
Oh, they just go, hey.
They're like, hey, you manage all of this stuff. I just want to do my job. So it's been an interesting change from how we were initially set up. But in doing that, so my background is mostly in healthcare.
I was going to ask you.
So in doing all of that, I think I naturally got a lot of healthcare clients. And so in this area too, the Pacific Northwest, we have a lot of naturopathic schools. And so
yes, we do.
A lot of the naturopaths, they go to school, they learn medicine, but they don't learn how to run their own business. And they all want to start their own business when they leave. So we have about 35 to 40% of our client base is actually integrative healthcare. So acupuncturists, massage therapists, chiropractors, doulas.
I think I know somebody in every one of those fields.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding.
It's saturated market here. And,
is it?
Yeah. And in doing the consulting piece, when you're trying to run a business, it's really hard to manage the revenue cash flows of the company if you're not doing the medical billing piece. And there's a lot of really, I think a lot of companies will have like a spouse do medical billing, or they'll try doing it themselves, or they'll hire a person that, you know, does medical billing from home, and they have got 3 clients or something, and they take on too much. They don't really know the ins and outs of it, especially because it is it's not traditional medicine, so you have to bill differently, and there's different, you have to, if you have a dual license provider, you have to break it out and all of that kind of stuff. So, so we started offering medical billing pretty early on because of that. And then we also do bookkeeping and payroll, and which is pretty self-explanatory. And then we do HR management, and we started doing the HR management and the bookkeeping and payroll because our consulting clients would get graduated off, and then they'd come back to us in 6 months saying, hey, we're growing, now we need these functions.
Now what?
And we used to refer them out. We used to have people, in the business community that we would refer out to, and we quickly filled them up. So probably in the first year and a half, I met with all of our referral partners, I guess to say, and we came together and they helped us develop each of these departments.
Oh, that's
so it was really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So we, created those from the ground up, and about a year and a half in. And initially we set it up to where we were only going to offer it to existing clients, but then we opened it up. So now we have clients that maybe only do bookkeeping and payroll, or only do HR or consulting, and then they add things on as they grow in their business. The HR management component is a lot of fun though, because small companies, when you're working all by yourself and you start getting to the size where you need to hire an employee, or you're considering hiring employees, there's like an additional stress or strain on the business owner if they're hiring more than like 3 people.
Absolutely.
Right? Once you get to 3, it gets a little bit crazy. There's a lot of different rules that you have to follow, all of that stuff. And so there's not really HR for small business though. You can't hire an HR person until you're around 70 employees, 60, 70 employees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you need somebody full time, and it costs so much that's not feasible for small businesses.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then the alternative option is doing like the HR subscriptions through like your payroll software.
Oh, like ADP or something?
Yeah, which is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And so what we did is we started opening that component up so that the business owners could just hand all of that off to us. We can do everything from recruiting to onboarding to performance reviews to corrective action.
Wow.
We hire, fire, we do every component of it, and the business owner really just needs, obviously we meet with them and we talk to them about everything. We don't make those decisions. They still make them, but we carry it out on their behalf. So it's kind of cool.
That sounds robust. You have a robust selection of solutions for small businesses.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because consulting is very much a roller coaster financially. And so it was really nice to add additional services because, if you're graduating clients off every 9 to 14 months, your revenue is going up and down and you're stressed out. But by adding the additional services, it kind of
constantly have things going on. That's beautiful. I love it. Yeah. Good business there. Good business. Thanks. You brought something interesting to mind when you were talking about the you said integrated health, like the naturopaths and the acupuncturists and that ilk. How you said they always want to start their own businesses. I feel like is it because there's not really a, you know how like you have normal, I say normal, the standard traditional clinics. You don't really have those clinics, right? When it comes to like
you do. There are some. There's some really big clinics in like Portland and Seattle.
See, I didn't know this.
Wellness centers are generally what they're called.
So that's what wellness centers are.
Yeah. So like Vancouver Wellness.
Okay.
That's kind of a naturopathic clinic, right? They
I didn't know that.
Those things. So
yeah,
so that's what they do. But I think a lot of practitioners, they may start out by going into one of those sceneries, but then they end up wanting to go out on their own most of the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then I think most of our client base is here like on the West Coast. But because the integrative health market is pretty saturated here, what we're seeing is a lot of these providers are moving from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Really?
And so now we have a lot of East Coast clients that we're working with because they know us from here, and so they're just taking us with them out there and helping them grow out on the East Coast.
And they're probably getting you referrals out there as well, huh?
Yeah.
So you're going to be, well, you're nationwide now.
Nationwide.
Yep. There we go. That's awesome. So you said your background was in accounting? Healthcare. So what was it specifically accounting in healthcare, or like what were you doing in healthcare?
Well, how far back do you want to go? I started out.
Let's go to the depths.
I started out, my very first job after getting out of college was a medical assistant.
Okay.
And so I loved that job. I loved working with patients and doing all of that. But I quickly realized, like, you can't really. Sorry, anybody out there doing medical assisting work, you can't really like make a good enough living doing that job.
and look at April today. Look at what she's become. So don't be sorry. You're a beacon of hope. Let's look at it like that.
I hope so. But we do need medical assistants, so we need to have somebody in that role. But I remember I met with the practice manager at the clinic that I was at, and I was like, I want to do what you do. How do I get there? And she says, well, the first thing you need to do is go back to school and get your bachelor's degree. So that's what I did. I just signed up like the day after I had the conversation with her.
Whoa, you just went right to it.
Yeah, and I went back to school, got my bachelor's degree, and then thankfully, and I think it's all luck, really. Right after I graduated my bachelor's degree, I got hired for this new clinic that was opening in the area. And they needed a practice manager, and they were willing to take a shot. Wow. So they hired me, and I was able to do everything from finding the space, building it out, hiring all the employees, setting up the systems.
Wow.
And at the time, we were still, this is a long time ago, but we were still doing like the conversion between like paper charts and like EHR systems and having to upload everything. So so it was great. I loved that role so much. And then I ended up having my third and last child, and I stayed home a little bit longer. And in that time, like the clinic had moved on, so we resolved that role, and I ended up going to this other company. I don't know if I should tell you what I did, but
it's up to you. I kind of want to know now, but it's up to you.
So I went. It's whole body donation.
Okay.
So I went there as their operations manager, and
So whole body donation. That's like after you pass away, you've donated your body to science
for research.
That's very interesting. We can talk. We need to talk about this.
We can.
Okay, let's go.
So I did that, and then I wanted to. The company at the time was small. It was maybe 20 employees. We had 2 locations, but we were growing pretty quickly. And being in a small business, I think as an employee, that's one of the really great opportunities that presents itself to you. Is you have that quick growth and promotion track, right?
Yes.
And so, again, I met with the owners of the company, and I was like, hey, I want to run this place. And so they're like, okay, you got to go get a master's degree. Right?
Oh, they said, hey, go get your master's and it's all yours.
Yep. So I went back to school to get my master's in business.
Yeah.
And a few months before I graduated, they promoted me to CEO. And then I was there for just over 6 years.
Wow.
And grew that organization from the 2 locations to 7 locations, including international distribution. It was a very unregulated industry, and so I had to do a lot of work in legislation in multiple states to get laws passed for oversight.
So you had to get into the law aspect of it?
Yeah, I mean,
Holy moly.
well, probably not now, but like I pretty much know most of the legislators in the state of Oregon and Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a ton of fun. It was a great experience, and I think when I left, we had just over 100 employees, and but in the end, what was, I guess it was like I needed to move on and do something different, because I wasn't really, I'm kind of that person, I don't know if you are this way, but like once you get into something and it's no longer challenging you, like you know it all in and out, it's time to do something different.
Yep, you get, for lack of a better word, bored with it.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
So I put in my lengthy notice. I was part of WPO, Women's Presidents Organization, and my mentor there said, hey, you should look at being a consultant. And you know, my experience with consultants has never been positive. So I was like, I don't think so. But my husband, I brought it up to my husband, and he's like, well, maybe you should look into it a little bit more and see. And so I met with, went and had coffee with some other consultants. And I was like, man, if these people can do this, I can totally do this.
Yeah.
So that was it.
And here we are.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I got to go back to this donating your body to science.
Yeah.
But there's more things I want to touch on what you said. But I didn't want to forget about this.
Okay.
So when you donate your body to science, like what is that? It's just like they're going to take it and okay, all right. I'm all ears.
You have organ transplant, which is, you know, when you go to the DMV and you sign up to be a donor, well, now that includes all 3 stages. It used to only include organ donation. So if you're young and somewhat fit and you're in a stage where you're going to pass away, they will harvest your organs for some other person to continue their life. Right?
Gotcha.
Well, then there's tissue transplant, which is like your ligaments and things like that they're transplanting into other people. And then there's whole body donation, which is for research. So medical device companies, before they do surgery on a person, they have to practice this stuff on
cadavers.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how it works.
Okay, that's pretty simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so it's funny to me that in those 2 specific instances, when you were like ambitious and you were wanting to do more, the person that you went to, the first advice they said were, well, first you got to go get this degree.
School.
Yeah. It's like first you got to go do this. Yeah. First you got to go do this. I feel like as the digital age has come upon us and information is just available, if you want to learn something, you can learn it. It's pretty crazy now.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners who are like self-made, who are successful. And so like schooling has kind of like lost its value, would you say?
Yeah.
Right? But I've always said that specific industries though, it'll never,
it's kind of, you know, back when I was on this track, you couldn't get a job if you didn't have a degree. Right. And so, but I can say to that thought, I meet with people all the time that are, you know, graduating from like WSU and going into certain programs, and they ask like, hey, do you think it's worth it to get your master's degree? And I say, absolutely not. I feel like there was nothing that I learned in my master's degree program that I couldn't have learned through hands-on. And actually, I probably ended up learning most of it hands-on anyways, because you're just kind of thrown into the fire. You got to figure it out, right?
That's it.
For me, I'm a, you know, student-wise and book knowledge, I'm very good at it. You know, it's really easy to me. I can learn really well doing it, but I enjoy learning hands-on a lot better. So
I'm the same.
Throw
me in the fire.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, most of our team members here, like very few of them have degrees. They've just been doing it for so long, right? And then you push them. That's your job as a leader. It's like, hey, now you got to try to do this, and you got to do better at it, and you got to do it fast, you know? So I think that's what it takes. Yeah. So I don't know. I think to some degree, if you're going to be like a rocket scientist, you probably need school, right?
Absolutely.
If you're doing like some hardcore algebra and trig, you
probably need to go to school.
But yeah, I agree though. I'm a continuous learner though. I still take courses. I mean,
me too.
If I'm bored, like last year I took a physics course because I was just bored, and I needed something to get my mind started.
Wow, physics.
It's fascinating.
Physics is, you know what? Whenever I was in school, in like high school, physics was the one I preferred over chemistry.
Yes,
I did not like
by
chemistry.
Far.
Oh, physics, it was more like common sense. As you moved on, it's like, okay, this makes sense. It's complicated, but it makes sense when you think about it. Whereas chemistry is like numbers, math,
Elements.
Equations. Yeah, it's like, oh, forget that stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So you said that you had your third and final child when you moved on to consulting, or
no, before I became the CEO.
Before you became the CEO. So how was it transition-wise having the 3 children and going, all right, I'm the CEO now? Does it even matter?
It did. Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to do it without my husband. So my husband has a job where he works one day and then has 2 days off, right? And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he's always been just a huge supporter of anything that I want to do, which is great. But he also keeps me grounded because I can come up with some crazy ideas. I'm sure every entrepreneur does that, right? But I in that role, I had to travel so much. And so looking back on it, I missed a lot of my kids' doctor's appointments and their plays or school events. And actually, one of the first things I did when I started this business was I went and I signed up to be a volunteer at my kids' school.
Oh, okay.
So I could spend more time and have more effort. And that was one of my core values too. In doing that, I missed a lot of time with my family, and he picked up the slack and, helped out in a lot of ways. But I do think it impacts you, because when you're expected to work 70 hours a week, you come home, maybe you eat, maybe you don't, and you just go to bed and you get up super early
and do it again. That's it.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, shout out to your husband.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Amazing guy.
There you go. So whenever I think it's interesting when you said that when you graduate your clients, they've made it through the program, they know what they're doing now. How is it? Is it difficult to impart that knowledge and wisdom and SOPs and all that information and technique and everything that you have to impart to them? Is it difficult to keep them accountable and be able to do those things without you? Like when they graduate, is it like a hard journey? Is it usually a difficult journey? Or is you have everything in place so well that it's like, just follow this and you're good?
I think the goal is we take it in stages, and we work really closely with them in putting all this together. So it's not like we're coming to them and saying, this is how you need to do it, and it's completely opposite of what they do. Everything that we put in place is, we implement, where we develop, we implement, we train, and then we write the procedure for it. And the owner has been, side by side with us. So we're customizing everything to them.
Okay, that's awesome.
And I think that's what makes it easier to continue and adapt. I think the struggle, and we always make ourselves available to them if they have questions afterwards. That we don't charge them for all of that. But I think the challenges is when, and a good example is we had one client that we worked with for just over a year, and in that year we got all of this stuff in place, like completely streamlined everything, saved them tons of money, and in doing that as well, it freed them up to do more sales and marketing, which they ended up doubling their revenue.
As you should, yeah.
And, we graduated them off. They were doing great. Well, they came back to us because they're like, hey, we've got 20 employees now. It's a whole different ball game. we need help with this component and this component. And then they came back again in a couple years going, hey, now we want to sell our business.
Nice.
Can you help us get it ready for sale?
So you can help with exit strategies.
Yeah,
is that an exit strategy?
Planning,
okay, succession planning. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got to help them from the beginning, basically,
all
the way to selling.
And then I helped the new owner transition in. Yeah, it was great.
Okay, so when you helped the new owner, so you had the systems in place, right? So was it a matter of then coming in and re-customizing them for that owner? And
it was interesting because the person that ended up buying this particular business had no business experience at all. They bought it as kind of like a hobby.
Yeah, they were like, hey, this generates revenue. I just want to get it. And
so we had to kind of work with them and train them on how to manage people and why this is important and why you don't do this and why you don't do that. And so it was so interesting.
Like a very like fundamental situation where you had to teach them the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet that was fun, actually.
It was fun. They're really great people. Both owners were really great people, and it was a ton of fun. And we worked with the new owner for probably 2 years, a little bit longer than normal, but I mean, they're still around. They're doing great. Beautiful. I think that's the other thing that I love is I can drive around town and I can see all of these businesses that we helped create and build and see that they're still super successful.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever drop in and say, hey guys, how's it going?
We do occasionally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Could you share a, I kind of want you to inspire people. I know I'm putting a little pressure on you here. Of a difficult maybe scenario that maybe any business could start out in, like if you're scared to start a business, or if you have started your business and you're kind of facing a difficult time. Do you have any inspirational kind of stories or anything like that?
Inspirational stories.
Or what would you advise them to do? You could go that route,
I can tell you what not to do. I mean, in all of the years that we've been doing this, there's only been three clients that we've either fired or they've gone out of business.
Yeah, it happens.
Cash flow is king, right? So especially when you're working in a business beyond yourself. When you're by yourself, I mean, you can get a 9-to-5 job, you can do whatever you want to do there, that's fine. But once you've got employees and you've got maybe a building or something, cash is king. And you've got to really have it stored up, because things like COVID happen out of the blue, right? And things like employees having to take leave for a while and you have to fill in the position. That happens, right? And I think a lot of times when people start a business, they'll cash out all of their personal assets and they'll put it all into this business and they just blow all the money. And it's not going to work. You can't do it that way.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So there's that aspect of it. There's also people that think they know everything and
yes.
And they don't. Honestly, I think the people that are the most successful are the ones that realize they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And you can get a lot of that information just from talking to other business owners and learning and growing with them. Because a lot of times a business owner already knows what they should do. They're just looking for somebody to confirm it or give them some additional options or something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'd say if you're just starting out and you're a solopreneur, stay a solopreneur as long as you possibly can. Because once you start bringing on employees, things get really messy really fast.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, when you're a solopreneur, there's a lot of pressure on you, but then there's not a lot of pressure on you, right? It's it's different because
it's a whole different ball game.
Right. It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. And I think too, what we have our clients do when they're starting out brand new is we have them sit down and write down why they're doing this statement, right? What are their personal core values in doing this? And the reason we have them do that is because we like for them, and I still do this today, is every year or so I pull it back out and I'm saying, am I meeting these still? You know? And I think a lot of times people just get distracted or they get off track, and then they find themselves working too much, not setting proper boundaries, unhappy for whatever reason because they're not staying true to those values.
Yeah, they forget about them, or like you said, distracted. It's easy to forget about them though if you don't. That's why companies put their core values usually, like when you walk in, you see the core values on the wall. You got to remind yourself of these things because it's easy to lose track of them.
It really is
easy, unless it's just something so built and principled into your behavior, which is, I think, rare, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was some great advice for people who are starting out.
One other thing, role model. 2 things. When you're not working on your stuff, you should be marketing.
Thank you. As someone who works in the marketing world, because that's usually the first thing people want to cut. A business wants to cut.
Yes.
Is like their marketing. It's like, no, you don't do that. I know I'm a marketer, but you want to stop the process of getting more business. That's not what you want to do.
Well, and marketing's like a snowball effect,
yes.
right? It takes a while to build up,
right,
to get momentum, and businesses tend to cut it because they're not seeing the results in like 3 months.
Yeah, and it's like, it doesn't work like that.
Or it's working so well that they think it's like a light switch they can turn on and off,
yes.
and that's just not the case.
You totally get it. Oh my God. Where have you been our whole lives? You just nailed it. Yes. So yes, don't cut your marketing first, guys. You figure. Okay. So what is it? Does it differ per depending on what kind of business you're in? Whenever you're hitting these walls, I would say, cash wise, do you figure out, okay, we're going to look at everything on your books, and that's what we're going to figure out what needs to be cut? Like, how does that work?
For me, when you look at this is probably going to sound weird, but when I look at financials, it tells me a story.
That doesn't sound weird at all.
Right? So I can look at somebody's financials, whether it be month by month, year over year, balance sheet, whatever, and I can see exactly what's happening because it just, to me, it's glaring, and it just gets me to ask the questions. And in doing that, also using standards, right? Like if you're making this much money, you don't want to go over this threshold for this expense or this cost of goods or whatever it may be. And so trying to figure out, how to, minimize the damage of those things and still get the performance out of it, whether it's an expense that you have. Maybe you can utilize it a little bit differently and cut down some of that cost, right? And just stick to those standards. If you just stick to the financial standards, you'll do great. But a lot of people just, I think they are emotional in running their business. And they tend to base decisions on emotions. And when you just bring it back down to basics, it's like, yes, no, there's nothing in between.
Right.
And if you follow that, then you'll be financially fine.
You just made that so simple. I see why you're so successful.
Well, thank you.
Because if you're making things that simple for your clients, or in this little episode where I just put you on the spot and ask you that, I can imagine how simple you can make it for your clients. That's pretty awesome. So it's a little bit, based on your answer, it's a little bit of foundation, but also a little bit of, well, let's look at what you have specifically. But there's a solid foundation there to base it on. Like, you don't want to go across these thresholds, right? I think that's very interesting.
Well, there's also a lot of tools and resources out there that people aren't aware of too.
Yes.
And being that, I've worked with probably over 400 businesses at this point. I know through doing that, like, startups is a really great example. I do probably 5 free consultations a week for startups. And the number one thing, I'm like, this is how you get your business going. I'm not going to do it at this point because it's way too expensive for you to pay me to do it, when I can just give you the steps, give you the links, you go do it, call me if you have any questions, right? But, setting up new accounting software. When you're first getting started, most people go to QuickBooks, right?
Yep.
Which is great. I love QuickBooks. Well, I don't love QuickBooks, but it's great. We use it. Most of our clients use it. But when you're first starting out, there's free accounting software programs that you can use.
See, I didn't know that. I always thought QuickBooks is what you do.
No, there's Wave Accounting, WAVE.
Okay, I'm going to go look at that.
It's completely free to use. It's not as fast as some
QuickBooks.
of the other ones.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's free until you start taking payments or paying employees. It costs you nothing. And when you do get to the point where you want to convert over to QuickBooks or Sage or whatever, you can just upload that information.
Oh, you can upload it. That's so cool.
Yeah. So
Export.
There's things like that people just they're not aware of. But I can come in and say, hey, let's keep your expenses low. Let's do this, this, and this, and this, because these are all free things. You know,
Beautiful.
like writing articles for marketing. A lot of people think you have to have some in with a PR firm to get articles published. And typically in this area, you can get an article published anywhere. They're looking for content.
Yeah, they want it.
Right?
Yeah, they want the content.
Yeah. So, I mean, just things like that.
Nice. So you're one of my favorite like business personalities in the internet world is this guy named Alex Hormozi. You've heard of him? Doesn't matter. Anyway, you kind of have a Hormozi strategy, because one of his things is he likes to help businesses who are making like $500 million or more in revenue per year, but he gives as much of the tools and information from his experience and that he knows of that's free, that he can, to everybody else, because he's like, hey, use this stuff, it works, I'm showing you that it works, and then when you get to that level, then I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how it is? Like when you help the startups, it's like, I'm going to get you to this point.
Yeah.
This is all good stuff for you, and I know it works, and then when you're ready, I'm here for you.
Yeah. And we get calls, 2-3 years later, like, hey, I met with you back here, and now I'm ready. Let's get going on something,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a nice return on investment, but also just like it feels good. Exactly. It's rewarding because you did a service for somebody and it helped them out, and they appreciate you for it, and they came back to you to be, for lack of a better word, loyal. I guess. Yeah.
We've even had people that we worked with that, we do the initial review period and we go back and we're like, you don't need us.
Yeah.
Like, you are doing great. Stop doubting yourself. Keep following these rules. We're out of your hair. So.
See, and that makes you trustworthy, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So having said that kind of gets me to my question I always ask everybody, because that's kind of like a little connection that you made with that startup founder at the beginning, and they succeeded, and then they still wanted to stay connected to you somehow. So I always ask, when it comes to the word connection, how do you see it? How do you define it regarding people? It doesn't have to be regarding people. It's however you want to do it. But usually people tend to go connection when it comes to people. How do you define it? I know it's kind of a profound question.
I think I see all things as related. So
interesting.
I think that, I think all people we're all related in some way, right? Yes, we all got crazy uncles, we got whatever
Absolutely.
it may be, right?
Yeah.
But I think, and maybe this is just like, a getting older process, but I think there's a genuine appreciation and love for other people.
Yes.
And when you have those things and you're seeing through that lens, you realize that everybody has a story. Like, nobody is traditionally perfect in any way. And everybody's been through their own things, and that's made them who they are today. But you have the opportunity to be part of their life in some way, right?
Absolutely.
And how do you plan on spending that? Do you plan on being like a road raging person? Or do you plan on being the person that's just genuinely patient, happy to meet you, helping you along your way,
Yep.
And so that's, I think, how I kind of look at it.
Very well put. I love it. Yes. I think I'm one of those people who chooses to be like, I want to help you. If I'm meeting you, I want to give you the best impression I can, that like, hey, I'm somebody who genuinely wants to see you do well.
Yeah.
You
care.
I care.
Yeah.
For lack
Not
of
fake care.
No, like I actually care.
Yeah.
I like how you tied it to like we all have those things we can relate to, because I definitely have a lot of crazy uncles. Not just one.
Well, sometimes it happens too.
Yeah, and I love all of them. There's one of them I want to get him on video. We got to create something for him because he's so funny. He should be like this.
Have his own show.
Yes, he should totally have his own show.
Yeah.
But you're right. You can either choose to connect with people or not connect. That's kind of how I'm seeing it, right? From what you're saying. You can be an ass, excuse me, and be like that road rage person, or be rude to, you know what I hate? I hate it when people are rude to people who are in like the service industry for like no good reason.
Oh, I know.
That is so annoying to me. It's like, why? Why?
It's like a status, a privilege. I don't know what it is, but it's weird.
It's like,
yeah.
It's like you could make that person's day because they're dealing with a lot of difficult people. Usually, I've been in that world.
Yeah, just smile, ask them how they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, tell them thank you, or
it goes a long way.
Treat them like a human being.
Treat them like a human being.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
Yeah.
To all my service peeps, I got your back. Okay, well, if someone watching was wanting to seek you out for your services, what's probably the easiest way to do that?
Well, we have a website.
There you go. There's a website.
Salsbury CO.com. And we're very transparent. So like all of our pricing's online.
Oh, really? Not everybody does that.
Nobody does it.
Oh, there we go.
And that's why we do it, because we're very transparent.
Nice.
And people can go through, read everything if they want to. They can book a free consultation online if they want to. So we get a variety of things. People will book online, or they'll just send an email and we get something scheduled, or they just call us.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you about your participation in ThriveCon, which also is going to be a big event happening next month. So what are you guys going to be doing at ThriveCon?
So we have a booth, I guess, set up. We're trying to find a really fun game to play. We got some cool like freebies and prizes and stuff that we're going to do.
Nice.
It's going to be myself and Morgan, who's our HR manager.
Oh, okay. So you're going to actually be there.
I will.
The founder and CEO is going to be there, guys.
I will. Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions, feel free to come up to the table and ask away. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's, kind of it melds into what our mission is helping small businesses be successful and grow, right? And that seems like the perfect environment to meet all of those people. When
I first was introduced to you through the email and I looked you up, I said the same. I was like, oh my God, they're perfect for ThriveCon.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why Trevor was like, hey, this is kind of...
Thank you, Trevor.
It's kind of like the creamer to your coffee. Like this is your thing. You should get in here. So yeah, it's perfect.
Nice. All right. Well, we've probably gone over the limit.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I really appreciate you for doing the interview.
Yes,
it was a good time.
Was fun.
Yeah. Awesome. We should do it again sometime.
I would love to.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Well, bye guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.